because this is an invasion. We built, most of the wall was already built, and we built it through using the funds because what's better than that? We have to stop the invasion into our country that's killing hundreds of thousands of people a year. Not gonna let that happen. We have every single international crisis that the current administration has created, including the horrible war with Russia and Ukraine, which would have never happened if I was president, and the war caused by the attack on Israel, which would have never happened if I was president. Iran was broke. Now Iran is $250 billion. They made it all over the last 2.5 years. They were broke. I watched the other day a show called The Face Station. Has anyone seen it? And the congressman was out there and said, well, when you like them, Iran was broke. I told China and other countries, if you buy from Iran, we will not let you do any business in this country, and we will put tariffs on every product you do send there of 100%. When they said to me, I think that's about it. They weren't buying anymore. And they were ready to make a deal. Iran was going to make a deal with us. And then we had that horrible, horrible result that we'll never let happen again. The election result will never let that happen again. They used COVID to cheat. And they took off all the sanctions and they did everything possible for Iran. And now Iran is very close to having a nuclear weapon, which would have never happened. This is a shame with what this administration, the damage that this administration has done. And I say it often, if you took the 10 worst presidents in the history of the United States, think of it, the 10 worst, added them up, they will not have done the damage that Biden has done. Only the months. I'm not going to get into it anymore. The damage that is done to this country is unthinkable. It's unthinkable. Together we will restore vision, strength, confidence, and we're going to have a thing called common sense, making most of our decisions. Just a few short years ago, under my president, we had the most secure border and best economy in the history of our country, in the history of the world. We had the greatest economy in the history of the world. We have never done anything like it. We need everybody, including each other, like this. Nobody did anything like it. We had no incomes were going. Nobody could believe it. You can't believe what happened 4 years ago is happening now in reverse. And the world was at peace. Inflation has been a killer for our country. No matter what you make of it, doesn't matter because inflation is eating you alive. People that were putting away money, they were making great wages, the highest they've ever made, but they were putting away a lot of money. Now they are just being destroyed. They're not putting away anything. They're barely living. They're going into savings accounts. They're taking out their money to live because of inflation. Inflation, remember, it's called the country buster. You can go back to Germany from 100 years ago. You can go back to any country that suffered great inflation. We've suffered the worst inflation we've ever had. But go back and see what's happened to those countries. We've had the worst inflation we've ever had under this person. But in less than 4 years, our opponents have turned incredible success into unparalleled tragedy and failure. It's been tremendous failure. Today our cities are flooded with illegal aliens. Americans are being squeezed out of the labor force and their jobs are taken. By the way, you know who's taking the jobs that are created? 107% of those jobs are taken by illegal aliens. And you know who's being hurt the most by millions of people pouring into our country? The black population and the Hispanic population, because they're taking the jobs from our black population, our Hispanic population, and they're also taking them from unions. The unions are suffering because of it. Thank you.
Let's go!
Thank you.
Send them back!
Inflation has wiped out the life savings of our citizens and forced the middle class into a state of depression. and despair. That's what it is. It's despair and depression. We cannot and will not let this continue. Less than 4 years ago, we were a great nation, and we will soon be a great nation again. With proper leadership, every disaster we are now enduring will be fixed, and it will be fixed very, very quickly. So tonight, whether you supported me in the past or not, I hope you will support me in the future, because I will bring back the American dream. That's what we're doing. With great humility, I am asking you to be excited about the future of the big city. By the way, the news reports, every one of them has said this could be the most organized, best run, and most enthusiastic convention or other party that they've ever seen. So I better finish strong, otherwise we're flowing, and we can't let that happen. This is great. Over the great people that smoke. Everybody hit a home run, and there's not one that I can think of where I say, oh gee, that wasn't great. Every single person. There's usually the older one, don't do that to me. They're already getting what I said, gave them an idea. This was a great convention. I think we're actually going to go home and visit. You know, usually, first of all, these guys, you never have this like
chuẩn bị bong bóng nổ nha. Trời đẹp lắm á, tung xuống à.
And it's very short compared to the long, boring, meaningless agendas of the past, including the Democrats. They write these things that are hundreds of pages long, and they never read them after that. In their case, fortunately, they don't read them. It's a series of bold promises that we will swiftly implement when you give us a Republican House. Great Speaker of the House with us tonight. A Republican Senate with many senators here. And send you back to our beautiful White House in the state feeling short months from now. We're talking about just months. It can't come fast enough.
That's right.
First, we must get economic relief to our citizens. Starting day one, we will drive down prices and make America affordable again. Under this administration, our current administration, groceries are up 57%, gasoline is up 60 to 70%, mortgage rates have quadrupled. And the fact is, it doesn't matter what they are because you can't get the money.
Ai quay for balloon nói đi chú quay for balloon.
The total household costs have increased an average of $28,000 per family under this administration. Republicans have been planning to bring down prices and bring them down very, very rapidly by slashing energy costs, payroll, energy costs, manufacturing, and all household goods. So much sucks. And remember, we have more liquid gold under our feet than any other country by far. We are under the Trump administration, there's 3.5 years ago, we were energy independent, but soon we will actually be better than that. We will be energy dominant and supply not only ourselves, but we will supply the rest of the world with numbers that nobody has ever seen. We will reduce our debt. $36 trillion.
Em ngồi đây em chờ con bóng nổ xuống nè. Thả ra bài đẹp lắm á.
Next, another one, they want to raise your taxes 4 times. Think of it. And all my life I grew up watching politicians. I always loved politics. I guess I was a the other side. I watched politics, and they were always talking about, we will give you a tax cut. We will give you a tax cut. But my whole life I was watching, we will give you a tax cut. That's all they talked about. This is the only administration that said, we're going to raise your taxes by 4 times what you're paying now. Are people supposed to vote for them? I've never heard it. You're paying too much, we're going to reduce your taxes still further. We give you the biggest one, as I said, we're going to give you more, and it's going to lead to tremendous growth. We want growth in our country. That's what's going to pay off. Incredible waste of taxpayer dollars in this building, the inflation crisis. They spent trillions of dollars on things having to do with the union scale. Inflationary pressures in addition to the cost of energy. And all of the trillions of dollars that are sitting there not yet spent, we will redirect that money for important projects like roads, bridges, dams, and we will not allow it to be spent on meaningless, green, new scam ideas. Changes like nobody had seen before. Remember, the USMCA got rid of NAFTA, the worst trade deal ever made, and replaced it with USMCA. At the center of our plan for economic are massive tax cuts for workers that do something else that's turned out to be very popular, actually. Here it's good, but this all those hotels that I saw that are so nice and 20 years ago. It's called no tax on tips.
Yes.
I got that by having dinner recently in Nevada, where we're leaving by 14 blocks. I've seen that person there. We're having dinner at a beautiful restaurant in the Trump building on the strip, and it's a good building. The waitress comes over. How's everything going? Really nice person. How's everything going? So the government's after me all the time. Tips. I said, well, they give you cash when they do up the fund. She said, actually, I didn't know this. She said, very little cash is given. It's all put right on the check. And they come in and they take so much of our money, it's just ridiculous. They don't believe anything. They just hired, as you know, 88,000 agents. And I said, this shows the level of my, most people about that 100 consultants that pay millions of dollars. But I said to her, let me just ask you a question. Would you be happy if you had no tax on tips? She said, what a great idea. I got my information from a very smart creature. Destroying your security and your Medicare. Skyrocket inflation will vanish completely, job roaring back, and the middle class will prosper like never, ever before. And the middle class will prosper like never, ever before. But no hope or dream we have for America can succeed unless we stop the illegal immigrant invasion, the worst that's ever been seen anywhere in the world. never been an invasion like this anywhere. Third world countries would fight with sticks and stones not to let this happen. The invasion at our southern border, we will stop it, and we will stop it quickly. You heard Tom Homan yesterday. Tom Homan, put him in charge and just sit back and Brandon Judd. These guys, you know, really, their job was a lot easier if they don't have to do it. They want to, they're patriots. Brandon Judd, Border Patrol, ICE goes out. We have to see what ICE does with MS-13. We have, these are probably the worst gang, and ICE goes in there. And I know a lot of people in this, and they're very tough people, but they don't want to do this job. They'll go into a pack of MS-13 killers. They're the worst, probably the worst gangs in the world. And we have thousands of them. I moved thousands and thousands out in 4 years. We moved them out, it was a pleasure. But I used to go right into a pack of these killers, and you see fists flying, you see everything flying, and then they take them. They put them in a paddy wagon. They take them back and they get them out of our country. And the other countries weren't accepting them back. And I called up and I said, tell them that we're not giving them economic aid anymore. And the next day I got calls from all these countries that were terminated. Billions of dollars we spend on economic aid to countries that does us right. And the next day I was called by everybody. I couldn't take all the calls. Sir, what's the problem? I said, we'll take your killers back that you sent in caravans into America. You won't take them back. Well, sir, if you'd like us to, we'll be very serious consideration. And in 24 hours, they were being taken back for years and years. When I first came in, they said President Obama tried to get him to go back, and they wouldn't accept him. They put planes on the runway so you couldn't leave the plane. They closed the road so you couldn't take the buses at all, had to turn back. At the heart of the Republican platform is our pledge to end this border nightmare and fully restore the safety and sovereign borders of the United States of America.
Dice que Franco lo utiliza el mismo
There's two things that they want, right? Drill, baby, drill, and close our borders.
Yes.
And by the way, I think everybody as a Republican in this room, as Democrats, we want people to come into our really got to look at it. The invasion, what happened. We ended all catch and release. We shut down asylum fraud, stopped human trafficking, historic agreements to keep illegal aliens on foreign soil. We want them to stay on this soil. Under the administration, if you came in illegally, you were apprehended immediately and you were deported. You weren't like that. The current administration terminated every single one of the policies I put in place to seal the border. I wanted to seal the border. Again, come in, you know how unfair it is? So many people, hundreds of thousands of people have been working for years to come into our country. And now they see these people pour into our country. It's so unfair. They suspended wall construction, ended remaining Mexican policy. We needed Mexico. It was easy to get from the Mexican. They said, we must give it to us, and don't give it to us. There will be repercussions of it. Not easy. Canceled the safeguard agreements, demolished Title 42, implemented nationwide catch and release. That's catch and release where we catch them and release them into our country. We catch them and release them into Mexico. And for 93, this is the previous administration 93 executive actions to throw open our border to the entire world is pouring into our country because of this very foolish initiative. The greatest invasion in history is taking place right here in our country. They are coming in from